Hey guys, just going to give you a run through on the X-Session Pro here, the settings I've done for Traktor. I'm pretty new to Traktor and I've used this in other programs, so hopefully this is handy for showing you how to use the two together, so check it out. Okay, I'm just going to load the track in first of all. So to do that I need to browse through the crates or the side here on the left, and then the tracks here on the right. So if I hold the shift key down, I don't know if you can see that, there's a shift key on this settings. Hold the shift key down, crate select, so on the left there you can see the crates are going up and down. So if I just go into Explorer, next to the shift key is the select key, so I hit select, it expands. So if I go to Macintosh hard disk, and then, actually no, go to home, and then desktop. There's a couple of tracks on the desktop. So I know I want to load in, say, Jaguar. I'll go to list select, which is the key next to it then. There we go. And now if I hit select, it will load it into whatever is selected. The focus, in other words. So if I press the focus, I can load it into B. If I press the focus, I can load it into A. So if I hit on A, it loads the selected track into A, deck A on Traktor, which is the focus. All these settings here at the bottom, they're all dependent on what focus you're in. So you need to be aware of that. They affect whatever focus you're in. That's the only limitation on this for using the two decks. Okay, so now we're into the A. What I used to do when I used to DJ just on vinyl, I'd like to get the track exactly where I want it. So I've used this crate select key also as a scrub key, so you can move it around and get it exactly where you want. And then over here there's a drop Q key, so that will drop a Q point. And now when I hit play, it's at that point. Hit pause, which is also the select key, using the shift, and it'll just pause the track. The other things we've got here, if I hold the shift key down again, the play key becomes a Q1. So if I hold shift down, that becomes Q1, and the keys above it are Q2 and Q3. So you can do your cue mixing, and the nice thing about that is the focus key is next to these cues, so you can just hit focus, go straight to the deck and bounce your cues about there, so you can do some good cue mixing. It's not as good as having the actual cues on both decks, but you know, with such a limited controller, it's not bad. Okay, so if we just play it from there. So the other thing you can do as well is on this side here is a loop feature, and the shift button changes the size of the loop. So you can see I want a four bar loop, so if I just press loop from there, we go into a 4 bar loop. And then if I'll shift down and keep going down, it shortens the loop, and then loop will exit out of the loop. So there's some nice looping features there. You can also drop cue points and bounce back to them. So you can do a few cool controller things there. Okay, so moving up now, all these controls up here are mainly let you access both decks simultaneously. So on the left here, this is all deck A, and on the right, that's all deck B. You got your headphones. So if you've got a dual sound card, you can select which headphone you want to use. On the left here is the pitch, set to 8%. But we all know that 8% isn't good enough to get an actual progressive mix, or any other mix for that matter, exactly spot on. So what I've done is, if you just get it roundabouts where you want it, when you hit shift, as you can see, it's 103.44, 0.45, 47, 48. So it'll go up in really small increments, better than a DJ, or at least as good as. So that'll allow you to get your mixes exactly on. But obviously there's the sync button as well. So the headphones, when you hold shift down, the headphones will sync to the other deck. Obviously whichever one's playing is the master, so you'll be syncing to the other deck. And the middle ones, they're volumes for each deck. There's no need to put any other silence on that. The crossfader. Crossfader is just a crossfader. These in the middle are your standard bass, mid and highs. It doesn't actually cut it out to 0, so that's a shame, but it does do a pretty good job. This is your scrub, as I showed you before, and it's also your crate select. This one here above it says on there is your FX2 select for A. So if we move that, the effect that's in the second effects becomes selectable. So we could set that to filter, to flanger, say, if you want a flanger. And then to actually put that on, you need to up the dry wet. So that's done by holding shift down and using this key here. So the dry wet's at 100 now. And the FX2 amount is the key next to it. So now we've got a flanger effect. If I put the dry wet down to 0 again, flanger effect goes, but you can see it's still on. The reason I've done this is because these keys here then, all when you hit shift, all alter the effects and switch them on and off, and alter the dry wet. So for instance, if I hold shift down now and I turn the dry wet up, the flanger comes back. The beat matches on number 1, and the filters where the hi-hat is. So that basically means when you hold the shift key down, all those 4 parameters are controllable at the same time, and you can always go back to dry wet of 0. So I just went back to Q.1 there for that deck. So those 4 buttons are mirrored there on the other deck. So they're basically selecting the effects you want and using the effects for each deck. Obviously you have to hold shift down for some of the selecting and effects features. So the only other buttons to show are the headphone volume there, and when you hold shift it goes into the headphone mix, and this button here is your master volume, which you won't have to edit about too much. So if I just hit pause, there's your X-Session Pro loading in tracks and basically doing everything without a mouse, which is what we want to do.